For some people, life before the pandemic was already challenging. Now, so many more are finding it tough. But there's free help for them in the form of the Citizens Advice East Herts, whose volunteers have emerged over the last 20 months as some kind of new emergency service for people who had nowhere else to turn with their issues. Here's a video.
Hi, I'm Rachel and I'm from Citizens Advice East Herts. So Citizens Advice East Herts is a local charity. We're part of the national network that covers England and Wales, but we represent East Hertfordshire and we provide free and confidential advice to anyone on anything. So we're here every Tuesday in the community space in Jackson Square between 12 and 2. Anyone can pop in, see some of the lovely team that you can see behind me and come in with anything that you need a bit of help with. We're here to signpost, explain how people can get advice, both from us and from other local support services. So if you're in the area, do pop in and see us. So as you can imagine, we've had to really change the way we deliver our advice in response to the pandemic. Before COVID hit, we were working mainly from our offices in Bishop Stortford on South Street and our other main office in Hertford, as well as also Buntingford Ware and Sawbridge Ware. And that was primarily face-to-face, so people would come in, wait in the waiting room to be seen, and we gave some advice over phone and email. Obviously all that changed when lockdown was introduced, and we moved really quickly to delivering a remote advice service. So our volunteers, because we're mainly a volunteer-led charity, quickly moved to helping people from their homes that might be sitting in their kitchens. We set people up with their own kit so that they could work from a laptop and a phone with all the sort of security and confidentiality needed around that. And we continue to help people right from day one. So we've always been around helping people a lot with issues particularly around benefits, housing, debt, but employment issues is a real example of a change we saw in the demand that people needed advice on. So employment issues massively increased and our numbers overall increased. So we helped a third more in the first 12 months after COVID, so just under 9,000 people. And in the last 18 or so months since last March, we've helped over 12,000 people. That's across the district on issues spanning benefits, housing, debt, employment, relationships. And obviously some of those people might have accessed our help in the past, but many of them are new and might never have needed help before because COVID has obviously really pulled the rug from underneath a lot of people's feet. So we've helped with practical support, like issuing food vouchers, fuel vouchers, helping people apply for emergency grants, as well as day-to-day advice around how to access benefits that people might be entitled to, how to make sense of furlough, what to do if you're being made redundant, all of those things. And the main thing I'm supposed to say is that whilst the pandemic might have moved on in some respects, the issues are still here and for many people actually are becoming more complicated. So our message always would be, if you need help, please don't hesitate, we're always here and you can get in touch with us, all the details are on our website. If we were to win an award, it would be absolutely amazing, a real honour. As a charity, we're made up of over 80 volunteers, and that includes everything from people giving the frontline advice through to trustees and people helping behind the scenes, and people give so much of their time for all sorts of different reasons. And I know the last 18 months has been really hard for people, but also people have really felt really positive, I think, about being able to give something back. It's a real team effort, a real family, a real community, and it would be absolutely fantastic to see that recognised in an award.
Now, since last March, Citizens Advice has helped over 12,500 people. Their service is available to all, but the people they help are most likely to earn significantly less than the average East Herts resident, less likely to be in employment, more likely to be disabled or have a long-term health problem, and less likely to own their own home, and less likely to be digitally literate. They've changed lives, and in the case of people like Alana, they've gone even further. Alana was self-employed and unable to work during the pandemic due to the direct impact of COVID restrictions on her job. She'd applied for universal credit, but it didn't cover her costs, so she'd accrued debts and was in a desperate financial position. She'd not been in this situation before and was feeling very depressed and anxious. Citizens Advice helped her apply successfully for backdated council tax reduction. They spoke to the council on her behalf to help her reduce her rent arrears. They also helped to negotiate a smaller payment plan with her energy supplier and apply for a winter energy grant. And, working with the food bank, side by side, as they are tonight, they supplied food vouchers at the critical point of referral when she had no money. Quite simply, Alana said they saved her life. Ladies and gentlemen, our charity champion is Citizens Advice East Herts, and here to accept their trophy is Rachel Williamson, who, until yesterday, was the charity's head of fundraising, communications and research, and today started in a new role with a national housing charity. She wasn't fired. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rachel Williamson on behalf of Citizens Advice East Herts. Thank you very much indeed, Rachel. And Martin, on behalf of Mollix, thank you very much indeed for making the presentations, and thanks to Mollix for their continued support.